Right, I am here with team member Jack Stocks of Team Schism, the winner of the OTS Championships in Wakefields. What did you play?
I of course played Ishizu, Bystial, TEARLAMENTS.
Right,
The best deck.
it is the best deck.
It's also my favourite, so gotta represent.
Alright, let's get into the deck profile.
Played normal tier ratios, 3 Rhino. Please don't cut this. Seeing access to this is a lot easier to deal with Ishizu cards. 3 Sharon, obviously, 3 Havness, it's just gonna get limited. 3 melee, which you can play 2, but if it gets Bystial, you'll feel a lot less, so you don't. To clarify on the Rhino Heart, Shiren pitch Rhino Heart bets out a lot more interaction than anything else. It means your opponent has to draw 2 Bystials or shove back everything really quick. So, to the Bystials, we are on a much larger package than usual. We are on the 9.
Why are you on the 9?
Because these cards beat the mirror better than the Ishizu cards do, theoretically. To be fair, it works, but like, if I draw these, I'm stopping my opponent playing while also like advancing my own game state. Like making Beatrice is insane, and Jerusalem sending cards is also like unreal. These make Splight not a problem if you summon any of them, because they struggle to get over it for one without pixies, and they contest the entire Splight board. So when in testing, Jerusalem into a full Splight board is so free, because if you make Dark Charmer, the elf's gone anywhere. So you threaten Battle Phase, force out the elf, Battle Phase anyway, beat over something, and then make Phase 2, send it away, get rid of whatever else is left. Against Exo, for example, if you leave Magnifica in attack mode, you can go crash Jerusalem into it, and then send it to the graveyard, and they can't tag out because it's in damage step. So Exo, which is like a difficult match for this relatively, you can out their bot like one monster realistically. Just be careful when you drop it because it will trigger their effects. Magnet's crazy, obviously. Then for the Shizu cards, we played a smaller number. Played 3 Kelda, 3 Medora, and only 2 Kelbeck, which I wish was 1. So.
Why did you wish it was 1?
This card's bad. If you draw it as a hand trap, it's fine, but it's only actually good against Splight exactly. And even then, if they go for Sprint first, the game should be free anyway because they're misplayed. So, you know, it's kind of bad. Against Tiers, it's okay, but you have to hit them like on the kick close melee, and you bounce them melee to the hand, which is a start for next turn instead of it being like kick Carlos, send 1. If you get lucky and you're against a player who has to do kick Carlos, send, this card's free, but it's very few and far between. And these are the only good Ishizu cards. I will stand by that. I'll go with the logic, but the reason for no orange light is the mill cards are bad. If you mill your opponent 5, you are giving them advantage for nothing. If you play orange light, you are knocking a card out of your hand, knocking 2 out of your hand to do essentially a mill 5 or shuffle 3. The shuffle 3 on the orange light's fine, but you've actually got 2 less cards in your hand for that. So you're getting very little advantage off that. And if you orange light, pitch one of these, they're milling 5, or you're not, and you've just gone -2 again for no effect. So orange light only really has 6 good discards. If you mill your opponent out, but then say, oh, you can shuffle it back, you're not gaining advantage. You are just taking away the advantage you gave them. So you're not actually going close or stopping anything. You caused the problem, and you just have to try and solve it yourself. Your opponent's gone free for nothing, and you've just had to play against yourself, which is
Feels pretty bad.
it's bewildering.
Standard.
This is the day after the ban list, by the way. This deck list didn't get touched at all. One Sunday, ban list yesterday, nothing got touched. So, 2 Scream and Heartbeat. Was Shadow Dragon, being a bit, silly with it, but Heartbeat beats better players than Dragon does.
Yeah.
If bad players mill you 5 and you mill a Dragon, pop the field spell, you win the game. But I decided to respect better players more, so I play Heartbeat because it just come out more. And Scream gets sided out every single game. But game 1, it's a blowout, so good to see.
Also, chain blocking is hella good.
Oh yes.
Seeing as no one's on freaking hand traps this.
Yeah. They said the Bystials, and even then it's like, well. This also comes up if you open Pearl Rhino and a way to get to Collider. You'll fusion some Collider Heart, destroy your own Collider Heart. Collider Heart send this, summon back Collider Heart, This effect searches the other trap you haven't searched. So you end on Soliet, Collider, Field Spell, both traps. And this adds back one of the traps as well, which is on this. And then the traps, we've got 2 Soliet and Crime. We played 2 and not the 1 because, in the same logic of playing more shufflers, not many millers, you want your shufflers to be so impactful. So if you don't play the second one, you'll find yourself having to shuffle back the Soliet or the Crime, and it's just not worth it. Like, if you're shuffling back your opponent's cards with them, it's not bad. But if you have to go on your first turn and shuffle back this to even combo off, it's just not good. Not good at all. It also turns off, if you only play 2, there's a good chance that you'll like mill these before you mill the screen cards. No, there's no reason to. But yeah, clean 40 cards. If you play any more, you have no right to complain when you mill bad. But I'll still mill bad on 40, so it's fine.
I mean, we've seen during testing that you were just mill bad.
Oh, kid you not. Over 3 weeks, playing this version of the deck, well, to be fair, we're testing this version of the deck before TEARLAMENTS came out, right? With the Bystials and all that. And we settled on this was the version to play. In testing, like since the Maven cards come out, like, say 2-3 weeks maybe, I didn't win a dice roll for 3 weeks until Wakefield, and the only dice roll I won at Wakefield was against a Mystic Mindburn player. So,
which is a dice roll you
I needed to win that one as well, so I felt quite happy about it. For the extra deck, 2 Kalos. I will not change my mind on this. 2 is right. If you play 1, you are accepting that you will lose to Fenrir every game.
Or someone on Rogue Dinos playing the freaking...
Oh yeah, Life Sagem and stuff. I'm like, well, it's not happening, is it? You can crime at it back if it gets banished, but then, or cherries, but like, if it gets Fenrir, you really can't add it back, so you want the second one. Because if it gets banished and you only play 1, you can't summon this, which is really good. 1 obviously, 1 of this, 1 of this, 1 of this, 1 of this, and then this deck.
Yeah.
I won't change anything.
Pretty standard.
Yes. If we did play 1, it'd be a Waller, but playing 2 is mandatory in my eyes.
Yeah.
Beatrice, she's like the payoff for the Bystials as well as them being insane. This card's insane. Like, all weekend, so people were trying to bait out like the Crime with Dark Ruler. If you're on like Beatrice plus Soliak, you can just go. They go Dark Ruler. You chain Soliak, no effect. Chain Beatrice, send 1, and you just go off to the races that way instead. And you'll have a board under Dark Ruler, and you still have the Crime for the evenly match that clearly got. Because everyone I've versed had Dark Ruler evenly matched. So Beatrice, Plan B, this card's insane.
We'll have Plan B.
Plan B has been chat all weekend. So the most represented decks in the room on Wakefield were Shifter.deck, which this is in there for. If we can't make a board, we are making this because every deck that plays Shifter loses to this. Kashtira loses to it, which is like minor, but you know. Flunder, hosed by it, they have to draw Dark Ruler or lose. And Exo, they struggle against it. I know some people who play an out to it in Exo, but I don't know if it's common. I don't play enough Exo to know.
Yeah. Also, Lost Art when?
Please, yeah, it'd be very nice. I quite like that. Dweller, obviously, that's kind of correct.
Yeah. Mirror match.
It should be banned, realistically. And if anyone's going to be like, no, because it helps beat Tears. The only deck playing this is Tears.
That's to beat the mirror.
Yeah, and it's silly.
You could probably argue Draco, but...
I mean, even like, I don't care about that deck. We just play Twin Twisters and win against that.
The times when this is good, it is way too good.
Yeah, that's the problem with it. It's like D-bar. Anyway, the biggest like difference in this deck to like most of the others was I wasn't playing Zeus. I've been playing this card for ages and it's so good. Excite on that. So because Zeus has seen popularity boost in this deck, people will let you get 2 level 4s on your board and not do anything. They'll pop the card that goes into the Zeus, and this will just punish them. So if you're going into a board, especially something like Flunder or something like that, this is just so free. Like Flunder's always going to have more cards in their hand than you because they have like 6 or 7 at any given time. So having Excite on is so free. They also don't have a way to out it on their main phase without wasting a Riser. So they have to go to their battle phase and start their battle phase, just wipe the board again. Against EXO, it's weird because they surprisingly don't end on a lot, so getting your cards down enough is sometimes difficult. This card was insane all weekend. Every time I summoned this, it was the end of the game. One of my matches was against Sword Soul, Dan Kelly, lovely person. He let 2 level 4s on board. He had a blackout set, but he was saving it for the Zeus. So by the time I got to Excite on night, he goes blackout. You just chain the Excite on that.
Yeah.
Because it's not a level 4 that can just be popped. Your opponent doesn't take damage, but you're going to be in a position where it's like it's too good not to. And if you go Havness, summon itself, and then Excite on, you get another effect. And also came up again. Sorry to keep singing praise about this card, but it's unreal. I had a milli on board. I milled 3. I hit a name, and he flipped Shadow Imprison in. The next thing I do, Excite on, pop Shadow Imp, milli effects, fuse them again because I had still had the card in the grave because it got Shadow Imp. So
Second place, Sword Soul deck coming up.
yeah, I'll go try. Then the links, 1 sprint and 1 elf, mandatory. This card's unreal. Against Flunder, if they don't shift you, game 2, your end board should be Sprint, Baguska, Crime, and a Havness in hand. Which Flunder, they can't have that, so good luck to them. You summon the Havness, bounce one of their cards, and then Baguska means they can't do anything anyway, so you just bounce all the traps and something in the phase. Dark Charmer, this card's unreal.
Dark Charmer Dark.
Dark Charmer Dark. Taking Magnum Oops. And then the last card in the extra was Boilers. This card's unreal. Some people play Goddess, but this is better every day of the week.
Because it targets Goddess and conceal it.
Yes. It can target Goddess, make it lose 500, kill the Goddess. But in the mirror, you can take, and this came up way too often, take Collider, trigger Collider, shuffle another card back, and you just get games. It's so free. It also can't target my monster effects, which I didn't think would come up, but did. So, not fair. The side deck was the best part about this deck for sure. I lost 1 game of the entire weekend, but that I just played bad for the game 1. Game 2 and 3 I just bodied him. It was very good matches with that. 3 Gamma Driver. Decided in for everything. There's not a deck where this isn't good into. So you'll probably side out like 2 Saranir and a Druis, your 2 Screams and stuff for these 4 plus Stein.
Why were you playing Stein?
It's because it's Instant Fusion 2. Against Flunder as well, if you get shifted, you can make Stapelia plus Elf. A very, very worst case scenario. If you don't draw Gamma, you can still make Stapelia plus Elf with this and another name. You pay 5k for it, but like, if you have to do it, you have to do it. And also, if you get into this for your combo, it's another fusion summon. Like, the problem with this deck is if you get Bystialed, you get Bystial and you lose. But with this, it means you have another copy of Instant Fusion, which they can't Bystial. So getting to kick Kalos is like just winning the game. I like volcanic monsters. That's cool.
Volcanic tier element.
Yeah. Volcanic tier element, 3 Twisters.
Why were you on Twisters instead of Cosmics?
It's because every deck currently ends on 2 back row. I don't care about like hitting 1 card. There's not 1 card in the game where it's like, oh, if you out this, you win. Against Exo, they either end on Valley plus 1 of the traps, which this gets rid of. Against Flunder, they end on the trap plus the field spell, which this gets rid of. And against like Eldritch, it just hoses them anyway. So yeah, and again, another card inside deck contributes to it as well, but we can't play evenly matched because we played 9 Bystials and we played 3 Havness and 2 Kelbeck. You're never going into your first turn having a monster on board, so having cards like evenly you cannot use ever. But yeah, which is why I play 3 Dark Hole. This card is unreal. This hoses Flunder, hoses Exo.
And just triggers all your effects.
Triggers all my effects. It's just free. Into Spite as well. If you bait out the turn negation, Dark Hole them, that's the end of the game. Against Robbie, Team Schism member, last Wednesday, I milled 1 Shuffler. I put him off Toad because I'd already drawn this on his turn. So I milled 1 Shuffler off Havness, no TNM unfortunately. But I milled 1 Shuffler, shuffled back both his Swap Frogs, and then went Dark Hole on my turn, and that was the end of the game. Because that's the only omni that can get the put up. And then the last card is 3 Tikaboo for Rogue Deck / Flunder.
Yeah. How did this card perform for you?
This overperformed. So against Flunder, you side this and go in second and you still win. Like they don't have a clean out without wasting a few turns, and either way it gets rid of statue. And if they don't have statue, they can't beat you. The only way this deck loses if your opponent's doing something unfair. Like, so if you just be unfair back, they just can't win. Flunder cannot play past this. They have to like tribute set cards with wins, and it's like, at that point they're wasting so much advantage. You've just got a handful of like tier names, Heartbeat or whatever, and you'll just kill them on the crack. So yeah.
Do you want to talk us through your matchups?
Oh, Wakefield's weird. So there wasn't, the only tier players who turned up were me and other team member Luke, but everyone else in the room was on our worst nightmares, which was shifter.decks, which me and Luke were like really worried about. So like, no, we'll play mirrors all day, which is why we played the Bystial cards. But the first match of the day, there was 4 Schism members who went. First match of the day, me versus Rowan, who was on Scareclaw tier. And then it was Luke versus Cox here in that match. So yeah, they paired all Schism up against each other for round 1, which was great. But yeah, I beat Rowan. It was quite back and forth. It was a good match. That was 2-0. Game 2, between rounds I went, I saw a Mystic Mind Sky Striker Runic player, and I'm like, oh, I hope I don't get that. It seems like a bad matchup for me. Next round I get the Mystic Mind Sky Striker Runic player. I beat him 2-0 because game 2 he went shifter and standby game 2, and I couldn't make Baguska, so I ended on Shiren. No, I could, but I chose not to because I had Sulliek. I had Shiren, a field spell, and a Mudor on board. Twin Twisters in hand or something like that, like Heartbeat or whatever. He activates Mystic Mind, sets 3 or 4 and passes. Gets right around to my turn, and I have a Twisters in hand already because I sided it in. But then I go Twisters, target. I go Heartbeat and Draw Phase, target the Mystic Mind. That gets outed, and I send just a random card from my hand. I go Twin Twisters. It was just random TNM. I choose not to activate the effect. He goes. So I go Twisters, discard another Shizu card in my hand, and he goes, cool, chain called by, target the Shizu name. I chain the Shizu name, shuffle back the tier I discarded off of Heartbeat and chose not to use the effect on, obviously. Trigger the field spell to pop the last back row and OTK'd him after that. Because without his back, the guy put too much stock into Shifter against the deck when he didn't need to. We had a lunch break for whatever reason. We came back afterwards and I said, please don't play me against Naturia. And I got Naturia. Again, me and Luke were fearing Naturia all day because we just struggle against that deck quite a lot. They are only Shizu cards, but we can't Bystial any of their monsters. Game 1, I get bodied swiftly. I didn't win a dash roll all day except against Mystic Mind, but game 1 I get bodied swiftly. Game 2, I side in Cyberstein and win the game off the back of Crime Sulliek Field Spell, Scream, Elf, Sprint, Collider, and Stapelia. And he can't play through it, and I'm like, yeah, cool. Game 3 went to time. I burned him with Scatshot going second because he couldn't kill me on his own turn with it. Because he could have made Scarlight installed me. I appreciate he didn't. But Scarlight installing, he said there was like 7 or 8 minutes left on time. So him going for Scarlight installing would have been like a bit blatantly obvious, I think. And if he did that, he'd have no board left. So if the judge made him like go to my turn, he did just lose on the clock anyway. After that, I said to everyone's going to say there's a Mystic Mine undefeated. I'm like, oh, I hope I don't get Mystic Mine. I get Mystic Mine. So yeah, that was the one dice roll I won. I said my end board was no field spell, unfortunately, because that would have been so helpful against that match. But it was Heartbeat, Crime, Collider, and Harvest in hand. It was a bit weird. I'd hard drew the Heartbeat, so God bless to that, but that was good. Game 2, I sat in Twin Twisters, don't see it, control the game for a few turns, peel the Rhino, shuffle a few cards back, and then just beat me. The entire game took about 8 minutes. I was like really happy. Then the last match, I think it's the last match of the day now. Yeah, round 5 versus Dan Kelly on total. Big up Dan Kelly.
Big up Dan Kelly.
Man had been playing insane all day because he had Shifter in the side as well. He'd been playing well, but the Excite on night caught him off very quickly in game 1 and 2. And then I kept putting pressure on in game 1 until it got to the point where it was a top deck war. He went first both games, and it was like a very top deck war. But yeah, the 10Es engraved were a bit of a problem, but with the Bystials, on resolution of everything, you have to just use the Bystials, like draw Fizz, Mudora and stuff, shuffle back his 10Es. It was like very intense, it was very good, very fun match. But yeah, that was the record. The one game I dropped was Tinchuria, when I played terribly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for the deck profile. Schism out.